Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at Gem Hunt. Gem Hunt is brought to you by Gem Hunt Games, and it's for 2 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, and games range anywhere from 40 to 90 minutes. Gem Hunt is an adventure game where you are questing to find gems. You take on the role of a gem hunter, 12 unique hunters to choose from. You will travel across a diverse number of regions and locations, each with unique opportunities and dangers, as you set out to complete your quests. Every turn has a movement phase and an action phase. The movement phase consists of crossing a rope bridge or taking a ferry, taking the underground railway, taking a ride on a zip line, or moving across the board on one of the regional movement spaces. The action phase can consist of mining for gems, digging for oysters, cutting rough gems into faceted gems, performing transactions in the appropriate location, turning in completed quest cards, playing one of the mini games, or drawing a fate card after landing on a regional movement space. The goal, well, depends on how you choose to play the game. Whether to play a game based on completing the most quest cards in a specific time frame, or you can just simply play a speed round, being the first player to complete one quest card. Whatever your path, it is up to you to become the Master Gem Hunter. It's important to note that everything you're seeing here is a prototype, but also the deluxe version of the game. Alright, so you're going to be setting up the main board along with all the appropriate cards. You got the faceted cards, the things you're really seeking to complete quest cards. Quest cards, obviously, and then you have the fate cards for all the different regions. And these are going to be sometimes good, but a lot of bad, actually. And you have your shell cards where you'll be getting the different pearls that you're going to need, and of course money and the bag of gems that you're going to be acquiring. Now, for each player, there are passport cards or character cards, and you'll deal out 3 of those to each player. Every player will get to choose from those 3 who they're going to be in this game. Now, important things to look at here is skill and strength, as well as the different abilities on the cards. All the characters have vastly different abilities and things they can do, so keep that in mind as you choose one of those characters. Each player will also start with 2 quest cards and 2,000 in cash. Now, the thing about quest cards is that these are going to show you all the different types of faceted gems or pearls that you need to acquire in order to complete this quest. You are a gem hunter after all. You have to go mine for those gems and then get them converted into faceted, nicer cut gems. And then each player will also receive a reference guide. These reference guides are really going to be handy to help you through the game, really fantastic. But also each player will start in Gemtown. However, some of the characters might allow you to start in a different location at the beginning of the game. Now there's also a Jeep standee. It's going to start at its Jeep parking location on the board, and of course you're going to be rolling dice to move around the board, and you're going to be using dice to complete challenges. So you have a 6-sided and 8-sided to help you with these things, as well as some additional tokens, and of course your big bag of gems. On your turn, you'll be moving and performing one action, or performing one action and moving. It's up to you. You can do it in any order you so choose. But starting the game, you might first hit one of these buildings in Gemtown, because there's all kinds of mini games here, from getting you more quest cards to giving you additional money and entering into contests of strength like arm wrestling or hitting up the black market. The nice thing here is that there is the handy reference guide to outline all the different things that happen when you hit those challenges. You're going to roll that 8-sided dice and check the results on this guide. Again, might give you all kinds of money, or you might lose a turn if you're unfortunate. But there's definitely some interesting things that can happen within the town. Or another possible action is mining. Yes, you'll be doing this a fair amount. Based on the quest cards in your hand will determine what mines you need to hit up. So they are scattered throughout the world and through different regions. Lots of hazards to get to these mines. But you have this handy table again that you're going to roll against with the 8-sided dice. When you do get to a mine, you'll roll off against it, and you know what? You could actually damage or destroy your pickaxe, causing you to have to go back and resupply for $500 in order to get a new pickaxe. Or you might find nothing, or you could potentially just find 1 or 2 rough cut gems, or rough gems I should say, because you're going to have these gems eventually cut into faceted gems to complete your quest cards. Now that's gems, and gems, you can ever only hold 5 rough gems at a time. But if you're going for pearls, well, you know, the clam has done most of the work, but again, you're going to be rolling and having similar effects. Again, this guide is going to lead you through all those different areas as you gather the cards for the pearls in this case. But ultimately, what you're trying to do is take the pearls, you're trying to take the gems really, back to town to the jeweler and have them cut, hopefully cut into gems that you can use for your quest, because you have to roll against that too. It's a skill after all, and potentially gems can break. So you'll consult the guide, roll the 8-sided dice, and hopefully you come away with some really nicely cut gems. If you do, you'll gather those cards, and there's no limit to how many of those you can hold, but you have to be mindful about the rough cut gems that you are carrying. And every time you have a rough gem cut into these faceted gems, you're gonna have to pay $1,000. So being a gem hunter is very expensive. So not only are you trying to gather these gems to have them put onto your quest cards, but maybe you're gathering gems to have them cut and then finally sell them in order to get enough money to help funding your goal of finding more and more gems. So all that just leads us to transactions, because a lot of that is encompassing. So if you're doing gems that you need to have cut into faceted gems, that's a transaction. If you're selling them, or you're selling rough gems, or you're selling pearls, those are transactions as well. And possibly completing quests, turning in all your cards to complete that quest, trying to finish the game by hitting a certain dollar value, being the first one to complete a certain number of quest cards, things like that. Or you might have to be replacing tools. Again, that's another, all these are all possible actions you can perform on your turn. And there's another type of action. As you move into a region, you're going to be pulling one of these fate cards. So if we look at this beaten path, there was suddenly an earthquake. Yeah, so all these cards have some interesting text on them, and a lot of them will have challenges that you have to perform that might relate to your skills of your particular gem hunter. Or they might be cards that you can use at a later time. And if you do have cards that you're accumulating, then you can ever only hold 3 of these at any one time. But these cards are going to be very large ranging. They're going to do some good things, some bad things, and there's different ones for all the different regions that you enter. And so the other part of your turn is moving across the board, because you have to get to the different mines and locations. But the thing here is that you are going to be rolling the 6-sided dice and moving along the different paths. You're going to be moving across the desert or the mountain ranges through the different hexes. And again, as you enter into the different regions, you're going to have to pull one of these region cards and deal with whatever it says. But there are some exceptions here. You have some rope bridges, so you'll be rolling the 8-sided dice to see what happens. You could slip and fall, losing rough gems that you have in your pocket. Or you might be using the Underground Railroad, or perhaps using the ferry to cross the water. All kinds of things can happen when you roll that 8-sided dice on those different locations. There's also this zip line to get you from one location to the other much faster. So there's lots of ways to travel around the map, and there are ways to augment your dice rolls in order to get across areas quicker. So you want to keep that in mind, but movement is very straightforward in this game. So the game will continue this way until you've met the requirements of the particular game you're trying to play. Either a speed round where you're going for a single quest card, or you have a dollar value assigned to multiple quest cards that you need to complete, or maybe just a number of quest cards that you need to complete. But you'll be moving across the world and doing actions in order to complete your quest cards by gathering the gems, getting them cut, and placed on the jewels and different things that the quest cards call for. And hopefully at the end, you are the master gem hunter. And it's worth noting that there will be an expansion. They have the Ships and Giggles expansion, which will include a new black diamond. Where you find this is really cool because it's the Kraken's Cove, which will be an overlay that will add the Black Diamond mine to the map. But also there's new characters and new fate cards, and there's even seacraft that move along the waterways. So there's a lot of new things coming in this expansion as well. Alright folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview, and everything you've seen here has been in prototype form, so keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that still may occur. Now, with that said, this game looks deceptively simple, but there's a lot of interesting choices to be made based on, I gotta gather enough money so I can fund the rest of my expedition to get the gems that I really need, and back and forth, and how you handle that and move across the board in an efficient manner in order to quickly get those quests done. But folks, ultimately, if this looks like a game that would be of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it from me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.